Hey, what's going on, everyone? Joseph Lombard, aka Interesting Far. This is Zachary Lombard, aka Magnum 5.
Hello.
And welcome to another Lombard Bros talk show. This is the 130th talk show we're doing, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful Monday so far. Monday afternoon, Monday evening, wherever you are. Could be Tuesday for some of you, of course. I think it's time to get Slade on here. So we're going to get Slade on here. I told him that we were going to get him on Google Hangouts today. And so I'm going to send him an invite link right now to his Twitter. And again, guys, you can follow Slade on social media. You can see his social media links are in the chat right now. Slade, you got me? Oh, yes, his mic muted right now. Slade, we need that mic unmuted.
Hey, we good now?
Yeah, Slade, what's going on, man?
Yeah. Not much, man. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty well. Well, first off, I do want to thank you for taking the time today to join us. We do want to ask you a few questions, and then we'll probably get the chat to ask a few questions for you as well. So first off, I do want to ask, how did you get involved in NASCAR?
So watching NASCAR has always been a tradition for my family. My grandpa was a Dale Earnhardt fan back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And I just kind of got brought up by watching it. My first race I watched was kind of a heartbreaker, you could say, the 2006 Talladega race where Vickers got in the back of Jimmy and turned junior. Being a junior fan, that's a hard one to deal with. But with the Heat games, just always had an interest in video games, NASCAR, and my thing getting with Heat Evolution, which is where I got started racing online, was just I didn't get the PS4 until they stopped making PS3 games. That's kind of how our mentality was for everything. They stopped making PS2 games, we got a PS3, and same thing for the PlayStation 4. Yeah, that's kind of interest in NASCAR has always been there. Just kind of brought up through family.
So I do want to ask, when you got on Heat 3, and when they first announced about this esports thing, how much time did you spend on participating in these qualifying times and doing this esports stuff the days leading up to the draft?
Probably too much considered to most. It was a lot of time because how they did it was there was 40 days of qualifiers where every day it was like 12 a.m. to 9 p.m. You would qualify, and 9 p.m. to 12 a.m., those 3 hours would be the finals. So you had to almost be on there every day if you wanted to do every race. I think I participated in 32 or 35 of the 40 races. So that's a lot, several hours a day for qualifying. And yeah, probably way too much considered to most, for sure. But we had a select group who I think 6 of us got drafted. We had around an 8-person group, and we were just running lap times, running lobbies, just trying to get as best we could, get as much footage as we could, so that teams could see what we did on the track, and also post on social media. That was a big thing teams were looking for. So there's a lot of time put into the qualifiers leading up to the draft, and needless to say, it did work out. All those hours were definitely worth it, to say the least.
The day of the draft, and when you found out that you were drafted by Wood Brothers Racing, what was that like for you? Take us through those moments of watching the draft, just not knowing if you were going to be participating in it, to knowing that you are, and especially for a team like Wood Brothers Racing. What was that like?
Well, that's the biggest thing. You said not knowing if we're going to be drafted. I'd say mine events were a little different than the other 26. Me and Greg Montezaro, Skirt Buster and Xbox, because they wanted to get the #1 picks out to Phoenix for the draft. And so I was sitting there Monday, not knowing if I was going to get drafted, like you said. And then I get a text from Scott Cole, who was the broadcaster for the draft and for the inaugural race at Charlotte. And he said, "Hey, I'm going to link you up with somebody. You may have heard him before." I'm like, okay. And I get text, and it's John Wood from Wood Brothers. And he said, "Hey, this is John. I'm going to let you early. We're taking #1 on the PS4 side. they want us to tell our number ones early so we can get them, everything ready for them to go to Phoenix and all that. And that was everything. That knew everything I did for the month, a little over a month that we were practicing and running qualifying times. Is just worth it. And I'd sit there the rest of Monday and all the way through Friday and try and be hush hush because they didn't want anybody to know. Like they didn't want it to be a surprise that the number ones got there. So all my friends, were like, "So Slade, why don't you post anything on social media, or why don't you say anything?" I'm like, I think I'm good." I just had to keep it on the down low that I was going to not going to Miami, sorry, going to Phoenix, Arizona, first time on a plane, which is a little crazy. But yeah, it was worth every moment being at the draft meeting. I think I was able to meet Richard Petty. I always drove the 3 car. That was kind of my main thing on Heat 3 was driving Austin Dillon's car. And I was able to meet him, meet Chase Elliott. Noah Gregson came up to me, which is pretty cool, and meet everybody at 704 and a lot of people at NASCAR, which is just amazing. Day I won't forget.
So the days leading up to the inaugural race, take us through your journey on what was it like to be a pro league driver and just, going to Charlotte and just participating in this this big event like the inaugural event. But there were other stuff happening days prior to that event and stuff. So what was that like? And walk us through that day of the inaugural event, because you guys were up on the main stage at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and you happened to win the inaugural event on the PlayStation side, which that had to be really special for you. But it probably was not easy for you to win that inaugural event, considering there's a crowd of people watching and then the glare on the screen. So what were those days like leading up to that day, and then what was that event like for you?
Days leading up, for me, it was more mental practice because we practiced Charlotte a lot. We had exhibition races after the draft. I think we had about 8 of them. Charlotte was our first one, and we finished second. Knew we had a good car for Charlotte, so that wasn't really the biggest deal. Just trying to get the mental preparation right. Trying to deal, like you said, the glare. The glare was pretty bad. Even Brian Tedeschi, who won the Xbox race in his post-race interview, said the glare was horrible. And I got a lot of stuff for wearing those, I guess, 1990 sunglasses, some people called them. People wondering why I wore those, and I could barely see the screen if I didn't have those on, which sucks. There's only a select few people who had sunglasses on. I don't know how they did it. But, it's more mental preparation. I qualified 4th, so my mentality going in was I'm just going to, how outside works on Heat 3. Unfortunately, I think Joseph, that the outside just does not work on restarts. So my thing was, okay, we're going to be probably 5th or 6th after turn 2. We're just going to have to ride it out, make our positions back after that. And gratefully, we got a great restart and, got 3rd. And then, of course, how the outside works, second place car went back. So I was able to go to 2nd and then fast fed in the 32. Got a bit loose on the apron, and I was able to go to 1st. And it was just the mentality of leading. I think I led everything but the pace lap. Just that mentality of, there's a lot of people watching. I'm representing the Wood Brothers sponsor spin. I think we're one of the only teams that have, that kind of sponsor situation where we actually have a sponsor that came through esports and was not already on a NASCAR team or already with the team. Just knowing that kind of pressure in those final laps and getting the win was huge. There's no better feeling than knowing that, we got drafted, but now it's the big league. Now we got to do well for our team. And to win that race was so big. We weren't able to win the week after that. Everybody know if the team with the best overall finish after each esports race wins the week and they're locked in. We are not locked in yet. But, it was crazy. There were a lot of people there congratulating me and all that and proud of me for what I did. It was awesome, though. Awesome.
So, after those days and now you're going through the season, how I want to ask you, now that season got started, now you guys already had a few races under your belts. I want to ask, how much do you, because you guys race 2 weeks 2 weeks separated, basically. You guys don't race every week, it's every 2 weeks. How much time do you spend to practice on the next race? Because I guarantee you put in a lot of time to make sure that you're ready to go for the next race. You're prepared, and you're going to be out there to hopefully compete for some more wins.
A lot of preparation. I wouldn't say as much prep, or at least for me, not as much preparation goes in. That went to the qualifiers just because you had to run every day for it to work. But or if you'll get drafted. But I mean, it's kind of hard to think or to compare because the Pro League lobby is a little bit different than online lobbies or offline lobbies. So I mean, you'll practice the car. Like for me, I practice Indy. It feels good. A little bit looser in the Pro League lobby though. So you kind of get that first. We get some practice in there. If any of you guys watching, you see sometimes during the week when we're not racing the Pro League, you see the Pro League lobby. It says www.enascar.com. That's because we're practicing it. So usually we'll do 2 lobbies to start the week. Like, for example, we have a practice tonight. We had one last night. And then probably after that, I'll probably get a total. I'd want to say on average, probably 6 hours total into a setup. Now, Bristol, Watkins Glen had a lot more. Definitely Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen had a lot. I don't even know the number of races I did. But tracks like Indy, Chicago, Daytona, you really don't need as much practice there. But still a lot of hours go in. I'd probably say around 6 hours, not counting the Pro League lobbies. We probably do around 3 or 4 Pro League lobby practices a week. Not a week, probably in between the races. I'll probably have a total around 4 or 5 for Indy. Preparation is key. Making sure you have a good qualifying setup and a good race setup because long run is big for the Pro League. I think PS4 had 1 caution, and it was I want to say after the Comp Yellow, so long run car was huge, but lots of preparation. I know a lot of guys like Sloppy Joey Stone puts a ton of practice. I know he does. Jason Keffer puts a lot in. Those guys, man, they go at it. I guess I'm kind of lucky. I already have setups that already feel pretty good. And I don't need much practice, I guess. But yeah, those guys, they put in a ton of practice for sure.
So, last question I have for you before we hand it over to the fans and ask you some questions. But the day you got drafted to look at today, how much does this, like I said, mean to you, and what are you hoping to look forward to before the season ends? Because obviously the goal is to win a championship for the whole Wood Brothers team and stuff. But just looking at where you're at today, how grateful and thankful are you for this opportunity?
Oh, very grateful. Like when the qualifier started, the group we ran with, which is different than the group we race with now, I was kind of looked at as, okay, he'll help out here. I wasn't looked at as, a big deal, which is kind of unfortunate. But a lot of change. I think I've matured a lot from the qualifiers all the way to now to winning Charlotte. Just having the pressure of having to represent, like I said, a sponsor and a team and try and win them a trophy and a championship. We already got one, the Charlotte trophy. Hoping to add another one to that for the Wood Brothers team. But yeah, beyond grateful. Cannot thank John Wood enough. He runs our esports program. I know a couple people wondered that. Yeah, John Wood does run our esports program. Putting a risk take me because Fast Fed, he was technically the champ. That was his nickname. He won the Miami trip. He was looked at as one of the obvious obvious picks, and John wanted to take a chance on a young kid from Georgia, and it's pretty much paying off. I think we've had 4 top 3s, 4 top 3 finishes, and then the Auto Club, which was unfortunate. But beyond grateful. Right now we're trying to lock ourselves in. I think we're 6th in the championship standings. Right now, I think we're behind Junior Motorsports as the best team who has not won a week. That's our focus now, locking ourselves in, making sure we can, because points don't reset. So we're trying to get as many points as possible to the playoffs and, make sure we're good as we can be for the end of the season.
All right. Well, Good to have you on once again. Guys, if you want to follow Slade on social media, he does have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can follow him. His social media links are in the chat right now. So if you guys click on any of those social medias and leave him a follow, you can follow through his esports journey and follow him, through other live events as well, whatever he's going through in life, but just keep up to date with him. So now we're going to give the chat an opportunity to ask you a few questions, and we'll read them out to you. So, guys, if you have any questions for Slade, please leave them in chat. We'll read them out, and we'll let him answer a couple questions before he leaves, and then that will be doing for the show. So, anyway, so like I said, leaving some questions. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. By the way, I do want to say, Slade, it's a good time to always be racing with you on PS4. I know we get a group together with Sloppy and Fluffy and a few others in the group, and I gotta say it's been a blast so far racing against you. And we'll definitely have to hook up again and just do some more streams together because it's a good time.
Oh, for sure. Even though I might wreck Sloppy one time,
Hey. Let me tell you this. That video is getting me some good views, believe it or not. So
I'm glad.
So all I gotta just keep posting is pro drivers taking her out, and you get the views. So Slade, what video game did you play growing up? Like you already mentioned when you started playing NASCAR games, but what other games did you enjoy growing up?
I mean, the kind of unfortunate thing for me is my first online games were NASCAR Heat Evolution, and I believe it was Call of Duty World War II. Okay. So any other Call of Duty games I played were just I enjoyed those, by the way. I don't know if I said that, but I played with just campaign and the offline stuff. But it's kind of unfortunate. But all the Call of Duty franchise, Modern Warfare 2, 3, the first one, I really enjoyed. Black Ops 2 was great. That's probably the PS3 side. PS2, the NASCAR games, NASCAR 06. I was actually kind of funny. I was actually playing that 15 minutes ago. Fight for the Top on that is awesome. Need for Speed Underground, great franchise. The Madden franchise, always great. Looking forward to Madden 20. I've always played that. Need for Speed. Always played those. But favorite franchise, that's a tough one. I'd probably just go with the NASCAR franchise, not because what I do today, but the NASCAR franchise is something I've always just played. Almost every game. I think I almost have every game. NASCAR 14 might be the only one I don't have lately. But yeah, it's probably my favorite. Call of Duty and Fortnite. We always, Voltage, who's in the Pro League, we always get a group together and play that sometimes. But yeah, NASCAR series, Need for Speed, Call of Duty. That's probably my favorite games and franchises.
Awesome. I play some Call of Duty every now and then myself. So heck, if you want to hit me up, I'd be more happy to. I mean, of course we do NASCAR here a lot, but I'm always open to play some other games with the groups. So if you need a Call of Duty gamer, I'll be the guy right here for it. So another question: what do you like to do besides, I mean, I busy with the esports stuff every now and then, but what do you do? What other activities do you enjoy away from this Pro League? And what I'm trying to say is, what do you like to do on your free time?
My free time, I mean, kind of thing is, I always played sports: baseball, football. I'm into basketball. I don't play it. Not really good at it, but and golf I picked up one time. I was decent at that until I tore my shoulder out twice. Not good. Don't throw sidearm. That's a thing. That's one lesson to learn. But yeah, sports were always big, and now that I stopped playing baseball 2 years ago, and then I stopped playing football this year. I want to focus more on school and the Pro League. Outside of it, I mean, I'm just trying. I mean, I always go outside, try and pretend I'm good at basketball, throw a football around, and just I mean, being outside's a big thing because my quote unquote hobby or job is kind of playing video games. So creating a balance of keeping active is big. Um, that's probably my biggest thing. I mean, this kind of thing. Right now, I'm schools. Of course, school starts back August 1st, and here in Georgia, which is kind of unfortunate. But right now, the biggest thing, other than doing the pro leagues, probably just being outside. Balancing out the being inside so much practicing setups. Yeah, it's probably being outside, all sorts of things.
Awesome. Well, Slade, I do want to thank you for taking the time to be on this talk show today. Definitely we'll have to hook up again on NASCAR Heat 3. As always, it's a good time racing against you. We always have a good time with the group and just have a lot of fun, even though we're like in public lobbies, and that may not be fun at times. So, but we try to make it fun as long as you get a good group in and you have a good time. And I'm looking forward to playing against you. And best of luck to you also for the rest of the season in the pro league, and maybe you can lock yourself into the playoffs. And who knows, maybe by season's end, you may be walking away with the team championship for Wood Brothers Racing. So first off, again, have a good day. And second off, best of luck to you for the future races.
Yep. Thank guys. Had a blast on here today. We'll try our best to do good at Indy and the rest of the season.
Awesome. Have a good day, man.
Thank you.
That is Slade, NASCAR Heat Pro League driver for NASCAR Heat 3 on the PlayStation side. He drives for Wood Brothers Racing. Make sure you guys support him throughout the rest of the season. And, of course, make sure you follow him on social media, like I said, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube as well. Twitch, he has that as well. So leave a follow for him and, keep up to date on his Pro League season and, of course, his, basically his life as well. Justin Lombard, a.k.a. Interesting 4 with Zachary Lombard, a.k.a. Magnum 5. You all have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.